Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. Busy day today. Coming up in 15 minutes. Line moves, week one college football. We'll expand on deadline day, tonight's card as well, and Hall of Fame game as well. We have a guest coming up who covers the Chargers in the San Diego and LA area. And here we head out to the Progressive guest line as he is one of the hosts here on the morning show on the network called VSiN by the Books, weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Jensen Lewis pops on the program. Jensen, thanks for the time today. We appreciate that. Deadline now over with. We'll find out about some more deals coming in. Let me just start by saying this. As fans of the sport, right, I think that we can all agree that today has been a pretty awesome day for these teams that are all going for it.
My eyes hurt, Mitch, from just having to stare at screens, and that's a good hurt to have because that means that there's a lot of teams that are involved here. And I would think probably the last 5 to 10 years, one of the most active decades or active deadlines, I should say, not only from contenders, but also, you look at the other side of it too. The Minnesota Twins basically waved the white flag and said, we're done, and selling off all their parts except for Joe Ryan and Byron Buxton, at least at the moment that we saw. Feel bad for the head fake from Yahoo Sports. I think, Pauly, you were talking about that. Boy, that's a terrible one. But again, when you think about some of the other big names that did not get traded too, Sandy Alcantara, one of the big starters that, Peter Bendix and company down there were not going to budge from their price point. Also, Edward Cabrera, who was someone a lot of people looked at in that Miami rotation. Mackenzie Gore really came on strong at the end, had a lot of steam. He remains in Washington, D.C. So still a ton of movement here in the last 48 hours, no question about it.
So the Yankees have been active here in the last 10 minutes. They got shortstop Jose Caballero from the Rays, and they just picked up Duvall from the Giants to add to their bullpen.
I tell you, this is one thing that, is intriguing about the Yankees is that you look at the pieces here in front of Devin Williams and Luke Weaver, and they're in that same mindset, too, of trying to shorten the game. I think we obviously know their big question mark is when Aaron Judge is healthy and comes back, is he physically able to play the field, and where would that be? That I think is the thing they have to figure out first and foremost. I'm still not convinced that is a playoff lineup that's going to beat a lot of teams that have really gotten better in the American League here in the last week or so. So anxious to see how Aaron Boone fills out the lineup card moving forward, and also really the health of the bottom of that starting rotation. I know they're going to get Luis Heel back here pretty soon. What are the capabilities of the 3, 4, and 5 starters that they want to run out there down the stretch? All
right, guys, so how about this now? It's super active still. Deadline's passed, but you're going to have these trades trickle in. Here's one, Charlie Morton to the Tigers.
Oh,
right?
He's been good.
He's been good. I think Tigers had to do something, right, Jensen?
Sure.
Love that move. And I think also, too, guys, we've probably talked about it at length here the last month or so, is there a team in the American League that you are, most intimidated by, whether it be in the rotation, whether it be in their lineup? I think Detroit had a lot of questions still to answer at the bottom of their lineup, and maybe they still do with this little lull that they've been in. This is a huge addition for them, for a guy that has a bunch of postseason pedigree, veteran dude who can really let it hang out there for 5 innings. If he needs to try and stretch a little bit, you're not asking him to go 7. So I think that back end of the Detroit bullpen is also an area where you look at the addition of a Kyle Finnegan, big-time swing and miss guy from in D.C., comes over from the Nats. That's a huge addition for them. I think that is a massive, massive add, maybe a little bit more under the radar from the top headlines, the big studs that got moved here the last couple of days, but certainly will be critical when Detroit gets to October.
What do you expect out of Bieber? What do you think of that trade, Toronto getting him?
Yeah, I think Toronto is all in, man, and love that aggressiveness. They, I think, had the hard part, Pauly, figured out, where you look at the top of that rotation anyway with Gausman, with Barrios, with Bassett. Eric Lauer, their lefty, has really come on here in the last month or so. Max Scherzer back from the IL. But from what I've seen in rehab, guys, here in the Cleveland system, this is pretty much vintage Bieber. And if this is what Toronto gets, he's probably got another week or two of rehab starts to be fully stretched out. But, fellas, this is what you do when it's wide open, the way the American League is right now. You got to take a chance. They did give up a top 5 pitching prospect who will be probably near the top, if not at the top, of Cleveland's minor league pitching rankings. But in that sense, Toronto knows that they've got an opportunity to win it this year, and so they went for it.
How about Tampa getting Jax and also Hauser that just came down?
Yeah, they just picked up Griffin Jax. Again, of all teams to get Griffin Jax is Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
and just seeing the Blue Jays now have gotten Louis Varland and Ty France from the Minnesota Twins. So, again, we'll probably see a lot more of these moves come in here before the dust settles. Here's the thing, guys, and, when you look at Tampa, Tampa finds so many different ways to be able to win. And remember, it was Yandy Diaz and Brandon Lau that were getting talked about here the last week or so, potentially moving on. And would Tampa be in this? They're 3 games back. I think they sense blood in the water. They know the Yankees are vulnerable. Boston, yes, they get Dustin May, but is there really anything that scares you here outside of Garrett Crochet and maybe Brian Bayo? I don't even know if you feel confident if you're a Boston Red Sox fan there. So I think Tampa feels that, yes, Toronto is strong, but the Yankees and the Red Sox quite vulnerable, and those other teams like a Cleveland, a Kansas City, that they'll be fighting over to get into the Seattles and the Texas at the bottom of that wild card pile. I think it's going to tighten up a lot here in the American League playoff race.
This surprised me this morning. Miller and Springs to San Diego for the number 3 prospect in baseball. What'd you think?
So DeVries, and we were hearing a lot of this in Cleveland, that the talks between the Padres and the Guardians, remember Stephen Kwan was really bandied about as a potential bat that could move on once Eugenio Suarez was traded last night. I know that Cleveland asked for DeVries in any deal that would send Kwan to San Diego, and the Padres said no, and that's understandable with the control that Kwan still has here. My read on it, and I credit Jim Bowden, too, on Elmi Network Radio. He made mention of this, and I echo his sentiments. Pauly, I think the master plan here would be you keep Mason Miller in his role right now, and, whether that's he and Suarez take turns in the 9th inning, or you put Miller right now in the 8th and it's Suarez in the 9th. I think the long game is that Mason Miller gets stretched out as early as next year, much in the same way you saw Clay Holmes last year when he went from the Yankees to the Mets, from the bullpen to the rotation. I think that's the master plan there for A.J. Preller in San Diego.
Okay, so did you like what they did today? Did you love what they did? Is there a bet to be made maybe on San Diego or one of these other teams that, they were super active today?
Yeah, honestly, Mitch, I'd feel even better about my pre-flop on the Padres at 13-1 to win the National League. And, I know we've talked Brewers too, guys, and I've got a 22-1 ticket on them too from before the season started. So from a position standpoint in my portfolio, I would think that the only other team I'd want to maybe get involved with would be the New York Mets. I think they really did a great job. If you look at just some of the Stuff Plus metrics from Helsley and Tyler Rogers to go along with Diaz, I mean, you basically have the number 1 and number 3 relievers in Helsley and Rogers, respectively, of overall nastiness for this year. So you basically now have a Mets bullpen that is going to rival the Padres one, at least in the National League. I think the Phillies did get better, no question, with Duran back there. But, guys, in talking to some sources with Minnesota, there's been some touch-and-go moments with Duran there. Now, maybe, the added motivation of playing for a playoff team in Philly changes that. But I still think that, even adding David Robertson as a free agent, hasn't pitched this year, I'd still think I would rather take the Mets bullpen over the Phillies. It may not matter, though, with how dominant the Phillies rotation has been all season long.
Yeah, This is incredible. The playoffs are shaping up just to be – I actually kind of feel like right now with the numbers moving as well after these trades and the dust is kind of cleared, I think to make a bet right now, you're kind of throwing darts because you can make a case for like 10 teams right now. Can't you?
Yes, and I said that kind of about the American League. You can almost go like half the teams at the moment. And I would say that if you're looking at the American League, I would say that the winners right now, clearly Seattle, Texas getting Merrill Kelly. I did not have that one on my bingo card, but for them to keep that offense intact was really, really critical. We'll see what happens. Correa coming back to Houston has not been the same player, at least, from a production standpoint so far. But the voodoo magic may be back there, guys, when he puts on the Astro uniform. So when they get healthy with Jeremy Pena coming back, they're hoping Yordan Alvarez can be there. That's a different beast, and Houston knows how to win in the postseason. So guys, for contenders right now, I mean, I know there's a prop on DraftKings. If you just want the division, the West, in the American League to win the pennant, I think it's like plus $1.75. It might be lower now with what's happened, but you basically get Houston, Seattle, and Texas in there. So not a bad one to have in pocket.
That's really good, actually. So about a minute left here then. Again, these deals are still kind of coming in at this point, which is absolutely crazy to me. What are you hearing about Ohtani? Are you buying that it was only a cramp last night and that he's going to be completely fine moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, so far, and Mitch, I think we get a real clear idea of the potential severity or lack of when he makes his next start and when that start will be. If it's on regular rest, regular turn, kind of move along, nothing to see here. So that was a scary one yesterday. And I think if you felt, if inside that front office they felt a bit more trepidation, you would have seen them maybe try and augment from a depth piece and not be trading a guy like Dustin May if they felt they were going to be in a real trouble spot there.
Very good. Hey, that was awesome. Right at the deadline. Thanks for popping on. And you'll have much more tomorrow morning on VSiN by the books at 7 a.m. Eastern right here on VSiN. Jensen, thank you.
Anytime, guys. Have a good one.
There you go. Back at you. Jensen Lewis on the Progressive Guest Line. I like what 8 teams did today.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Yeah. Seattle, Texas, San Diego.
The Yankees bullpen is ridiculous now.
Tampa. It's a good job by Tampa.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so we'll run that down a little bit more coming up and expand on tonight's. Well, we have 2 more games coming up here on the card in Major League Baseball. It's Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
You're probably going to find a lot of unhappy people out there with what their local teams did today at the deadline 15 minutes ago in Major League Baseball. I think one team certainly would be the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah.
That was a false report that came out that they landed Joe Ryan, although the Twins shipped off like everybody today. So that didn't happen, but they got Steven Matz and Dustin May as 2 guys to add to that rotation. And I think another one's going to be the Cubs. And Bill on X tagged us on this. There's a Cubs podcaster who said, I am in complete and utter shock. Mm-hmm. And the Cubs fans who are responding are saying, basically, we're never going to sniff a World Series under this current regime.
Disappointing. I mean, you're talking about 2 huge brands and 2 big cities, how they're running the Red Sox, and the Cubs couldn't make a move. Yeah, I'm with you.
And yet you're watching the Rays make moves like they did. They got Hauser from the White Sox. They got Griffin Jacks from Minnesota.
Give Seattle credit. They went for it. I mean, that's Seattle, Texas, Padres. Yep.
Yankees.
Yep. Phillies got their closer that they needed.
Well, I'll tell you.
That's too bad.
If the Yankees could have landed a starting pitcher, I'm not talking about like the best guy available, not like a Joe Ryan or an Alcantara. If they would have landed like a Hauser, for example, to go along with what they did in their bullpen, what they want to do here is make it a 5-inning game for their starters and then say, okay, now good luck against guys who are going to come out and throw 100 miles an hour the entire time.
And if you listen to Olney and Passan, they said, the Cubs could get, here's who they want, small chance, but you're looking at Ryan, you're looking at Kelly, you're looking at Bieber. And they go elsewhere, and you can't get them.
Yeah.
And at least, you thought Ryan was out there and then the false report, but that's a killer.
Well, I know this. You're feeling good about your Rangers ticket.
Yeah.
Merrill Kelly's a very nice addition.
Right. Although they had pitching. It just comes down to the offense. But, yeah, it's a good addition, yes.
You also snagged the Padres.
Yes.
A while back.
It's too high.
Well,
it was 25-1 before the O'Hearn trade.
Yeah, now here you go now. Can we put this up, fellas, if you don't mind? This is at DraftKings. So the Phillies and Mets are about the same, plus 425 and plus 450. Dodgers, of course, the clear short shot. Padres 10-1 win the NL still?
Yep. That came down a little bit. It was 12 earlier in the day, right? Yep.
I still think, again, to your point, compare 10-1 on the Padres to plus 550 on the Cubs, 650 on the Brewers, plus 450 on the Mets.
Okay, let's get nuts now. This isn't getting enough attention. But we talked about it like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Do you see what the lead is now in the division? The Dodgers have a 3-game lead.
Oh, it's razor thin.
They're not playing well.
No.
And after what the Padres did last year, and they just swept the Mets, they've won 5 in a row. They should have. They blew 2 games in St. Louis. That crazy 12 hits to 3 and you lose.
Right.
I mean, who's to say that they're minus 2,500? They're 3 up. They can't hit.
No, it's been they're striking out a ton. By the way, this was a good tweet from Chris Felica last night.
Yes, very good. This is good for you.
Well, I think he also has a PCA ticket in pocket to win the MVP.
Yeah. Sure.
So Ohtani made the final out last night. 1 for 13 in the series, 19 for 101. That's a 188 batting average, 36 Ks over his last 27 games going back to June 28th. To Jensen's point, if he's pushed back a little bit, can't make his next start, and if PCA could get hot, again, you compare the WAR. I'll get those numbers for you here in a second.
Yeah.
If he's not going to be taking the mound anymore this year, PCA has been either the best or basically top 2, top 3 defender in baseball the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
That has to matter.
Yeah.
I actually saw an argument that how much stock do you put into Ohtani's pitching compared to this guy being so good defensively and how many runs he saved, for example?
Interesting. It's Judge Raleigh Part 2 now.
Yeah.
You know, Judge is a favorite now in some spots, but Raleigh was $1.60 and Ohtani was $2,000. I think it's too high. Great. Keep them coming. It's also here tonight, Hall of Fame game. I like the over. We talked about it earlier, and we'll talk about it again coming up with our Charger guest. Brad Powers said can't recall this activity and this movement in July and what's happened. All the line moves, week 0, week 1 college football. The late game, August 23rd. Stanford opened 2.5. Hawaii is now 2.5 in some spots. 1.5 in others.
What?
Stanford fired their coach. Reich takes over.
For what it's worth, Tim Murray's been all over this, by the way. He was telling people for, I think, weeks on this network to grab Hawaii now. I think Humans was right there with them. Grab them plus the points because they are absolutely going to go off as the favorite.
Good job.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was adamant about it.
Okay. Afternoon, Western Kentucky, 7.5 up to 10 against Sam Houston. I mentioned the Boise game. Opened, they were 10, 9.5. It's down to 7.5 at some books, 8 at others. Let's see.
What else do you have here?
3 looking. Let me get it. This was Brad Powers loves this. Georgia Tech 3.5 up to 4.
You know what?
And high on Georgia Tech is also a sleeper. Pizza money 13 to 1 to win the ACC. Completely down on Colorado.
I will go back to, and I'll tie in the pizza bets that we had earlier.
Yep.
Paul, there was a segment that we did with the pizzeria. My God, Luke might know. 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. It wasn't even close to like college football. Like, hey, it's around the corner yet. There was a viewer who sent in to get Georgia Tech at a huge number back then to win the ACC.
Yeah.
And we were just like running down the schedule, like, okay, I can get on board with that. But it was like NBA Finals were still going on. Like, okay, sure.
Damn right. Michigan at home to New Mexico, 34.5 up to 38, 37.5. What Brad was talking about, Temple, plus 1.5 to minus 3.5. Tennessee against Syracuse, 12.5 up to 14. Marshall, Georgia, 55.5. I thought that was 50 or 55. What'd you make of Clemson from 3 up to 4 against LSU?
That's well, if it goes to 4.5, I'm going to be taking LSU, I think.
Hawaii, Arizona over, 53.5 up to 56.5. Arizona 10.5 up to 13.5. Utah 3.5 up to 6.5 at UCLA. Southern Miss plus 14.5 down to 10.5. Against Mississippi State. The over, 57.5 up to 60.5. Old Miss, 36.5 up to 39 against Georgia State. And one more, your big boy, Labor Day, TCU plus 3.5 to minus 3 against Belichick.
Huge move there. Yeah. I have the email right now. This is from May 16th. Russell in Greensboro, North Carolina. Georgia Tech pizza money, 14 to 1 to win the ACC.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago. That's like the beginning, second round of the NBA and the NHL playoffs. Do you have any week 1 bets? Any of those?
Not yet, no.
Not yet? Okay.
No.
I'm looking right now. So the WAR numbers at Baseball Reference in the National League. This is PCA might be a lot closer than we think because WAR is a big deal. And if Ohtani doesn't pitch again, or if he's like compromised at all, overall wins above replacement. This is for the entire board, right? PCA is 6.5 with the WAR. Paul Skeen's number 2. Sanchez number 3 with the Phillies. Wheeler number 4. Ohtani's number 5. Position players. PCA 6.5. Ohtani is 4th at 4.3. Offensive WAR, just the offense. PCA 4.7. Kyle Tucker and Shohei Ohtani are tied with Will Smith for second overall at 4.4. Defensive WAR, PCA 2.2. Sorry, Ohtani doesn't play defense. So, and he again, I took a little Schwarber last night when Ohtani left the game at 10-1 to kind of protect the PCA bet that I have on him, and thinking that, oh my God, he's hurt, he's leaving the game, maybe something really bad is going to be here. If WAR really truly means something, I got to tell you, it's not even close. Not even close. PCA's blown. It's like Ohtani's not even second. So, like, are they going to look at the mainstream numbers overall and say, oh, the home runs and the runs scored, he's going to win the MVP again? And you've been saying this all along, maybe there's going to be some voter fatigue this year.
God, it's still 11-1 and a 20-1. Yeah.
It would also help if the Dodgers didn't win their division and the Cubs would win the Central.
There you go. Now you're talking. Want to know where the money's really going? Unlike other sources, our splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action's landing. Circa takes huge bets from pro bettors. DraftKings provides a broader market perspective. See the percentage of bets versus percentage of handle on every game across every major sport, helping you make smarter, more informed bets. Everyone loves it. One of the biggest things we do and offer, VSiN's exclusive betting splits as little as $9.99 for your first month. VSiN.com/subscribe. Get it now, $9.99. VSiN.com/subscribe.
Well, this is cool. We were just talking about how Tim Murray's been talking about, bet Hawaii against Stanford in week 1 as a dog. They're going to go off as the favorite for sure. He just tweeted us. He's live at the Crab House in Bethany Beach, Delaware.
Yeah.
And VSiN is on at the bar. Tons of people. Well, I'm going to say tons of people. And volume must be up. He's right? Got to be up. So good job by the Crab House in Bethany Beach, Delaware, with VSiN on, the show on right now, and Tim's there. Yeah. Probably having a nice cold one, I would think, as well.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They're going on the road for their podcast and their show to that game.
Yeah, that's great.
That's so cool, yeah.
That is great. Did you see what Kurtz is now?
Oh, what's the point of even looking?
What do you think?
Minus 4,000?
8.
Minus 8,000? Well, Wilson got hurt.
Yeah.
He's on the IL.
8,000. Oh,
yeah.
He was 220 a week ago.
Yeah. Hall of Fame game next. Fernando Ramirez covers the Chargers for the Sporting Tribune. We'll get into their plan of attack as they play the Detroit Lions here tonight.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
NFL makes its return tonight. Not even August yet. And here we go. Lions, 1.5, 2-point favorite tonight over the Chargers. Total, again, shop around between 32.5 and 34. That is the high mark right now overall on the screen. And right now we head out to the Progressive Guest line down to San Diego. And Fernando Ramirez joins the program, Chargers reporter for the Sporting Tribune. You can follow him on X. He is at RealFRamirez. Fernando, thanks for the time today. How are you?
Thank you guys so much for having me on. It's crazy that we bet on preseason games. We bet on everything now. It's God bless America, honestly.
God bless America, yes. Some of the tweets that you sent out earlier in the week. I'll begin with this one. Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh says that rookie running back Omarion Hampton will start. Wide receiver Trey Harris is also going to play on Thursday. I can probably guess how much they're going to play, but do you have like a true idea of like how many snaps or how many series some of those marquee rookies will get on the field tonight?
Knowing the way he kind of does things, it'll probably be a 2-3 drives maybe just to kind of get their feet wet. My question is, and I was going to ask him, but then I decided not to. So if Omarion rips a 80-yard touchdown on the first play, is that it? Is he done? Like, okay, yeah, we already saw what we need to see. Come on back and let's get ready for the next preseason game. But it sounded like they're going to be used sparingly. I think what they want to see is the rest of the guys that they have on that roster, the rest of the receivers that they have on that roster, and see kind of where they're all at. But yeah, Keandre Lambert-Smith, Trey Harris and Omarion Hampton are kind of the mark, and Aronde Gadsden are kind of the marquee names going into this game, just because they're all rookies and everybody wants to see kind of where they're at, how much have they developed in the 11 practices that the Chargers have had so far of training camp.
Last year, did you think, wow, this is a very good team, they could make a deep playoff run, and based on what happened, or did you think they benefited from an easy schedule and also the big ad with Harbaugh and the coaching change?
I thought they were playing with house money. The Chargers had no money last year, and what GM Joe Ortiz was able to do was kind of go out and spend money, but they were getting guys that were low risk, high reward, and they weren't paying them a lot of money. Puna Ford didn't make all that much money last year, so they were going out giving guys 1-year contracts, and they kind of built the team that way. So while yes, they benefited from an easy schedule, you could see little pieces of the Harbaugh history in there, and kind of the things that he wanted to implement. Now, the thing is, the team ran into a buzzsaw 3 times. One, it was against Baltimore, physical, aggressive defense, physical, aggressive team. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, physical, aggressive defense, physical, aggressive team. And then obviously the Houston Texans, physical, aggressive defense, physical, aggressive team. So those 3 games show you a lot of what the Chargers were, that they were playing with house money, but then you see the way they got dominated in those games. And that's why Jim and Joe went to go do what they needed to do this year. And that's why they went to go get playmakers and Mekhi Becton, and they reinforced the defensive line. But I thought they were going to be a 10-win team and maybe have 1 playoff victory. But I wasn't completely surprised by what Houston did, just because every physical team that the Chargers played last year had kind of given them a run for their money. And that's why the only team that they played really tough was Kansas City. But the rest of them, they were pretty on point to what happened in that Houston game.
Okay, win total's 9.5 this year. What do you think? Do you see 10, 11 wins?
I actually, when I did this in May, when the schedule first released, I had them at 11 wins, just because year 2 of Harbaugh, something happens. And Jim, we asked him while we were in San Diego, we asked him, what is it about you that in your second year, your team is able to come together and perform even better? And he said, I don't know, maybe it's just the fact that these guys have been under my system now for 2 years. The last training camp, they were still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to get what I want and what the team and the coaches expect of them. And this year, now they have an understanding. They've been here, they've done this. So the other one that wasn't here last year was Justin Herbert at this point, because he had the foot injury. So he missed the rest of training camp. So now he's kind of getting adjusted to it, but they feel really comfortable in the system. All the veteran players have kind of spoken about what they know is their assignment for this year. So that's why I had them at 11 wins, just because I know in year 2, Harbaugh his teams overperform. So I'm kind of expecting, I think I said it before, that they need a win or 2 in the playoffs. If not, what was all this for? Like they need to start showing that the Jim Harbaugh system is working, and that obviously the players that they have right now are players that they're going to need in the future. So they need a couple of wins in the playoffs to really show that it's working. The Spanos family spending all that money to get him, and obviously the players that they have around them are working together in unison.
Let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. We're talking Chargers and tonight's game as they take on the Lions in the Hall of Fame game. Fernando Ramirez, our guest on the Progressive Guest Line, Chargers reporter for the Sporting Tribune. Follow him on X at RealFRamirez. Trey Lance is going to get the start tonight for the Chargers. The Bolts, last year, he played in the game for Dallas against the Chargers. He threw for 323 yards, a touchdown, but 5 INTs. What do you think overall the plan is tonight for the quarterback room? How much run will Lance get, and then others on the roster?
So it sounds like Lance is going to go the first 2. It's so funny. Jim was like, he's going to go through the first quarter, second quarter, and then a little bit of the third. But you're like, okay, you couldn't have just told me he's going to go for 2 quarters and a couple of snaps in the third. It's all about the I'm telling you, he's kind of a WWE kind of persona guy. So it's funny to see him. But again, the gym that you get in training camp is not the gym that you get during the regular season. So But I think it'll be about they'll let them go right until I think 1 or 2 drives in the third. I think they're going to air it out a little bit just to give him that kind of feel to see to get him. Jim said game time experience. The only problem is the last time he got that game time experience, like you said, he threw 5 picks, and Tony Jefferson, who's now his teammate, had 3 of those interceptions. So it's been a rough going for Trey, but it seems like Jim's really trying to help him and trying to guide him and try and help him grow as a quarterback. He's had he's kind of been up and down during training camp. He's made some okay throws, and then he makes throws that you're like, where are you going with that? So I kind of feel like Jim's going to try and give him a little bit of wiggle room in these first 2 or 3 preseason games, and just to see what he has. But I definitely expect them to air it out a little bit just so that they can see what they have in not only their weapons, but in him as a quarterback. And Taylor Heineke's the emergency quarterback tonight, and I think he said DJU from Florida State. His name is hard to pronounce. He's gonna get the bulk of the work in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. They're really high on him. The way Jim's ran his practices, he's really given the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s a lot of work, and it's not just all about the 1. So that's been pretty interesting to watch this training camp.
2 minutes, Fernando. Am I talking to someone who's not buying the Broncos hype?
No, I'm not saying I'm not buying the Broncos hype. I have question marks, and I have the same question marks about well, not the same, but I have question marks on every team that's not Kansas City and Philadelphia, I guess. But with the Broncos, just their offense, I'm wondering what their offense is going to be like. They had running backs, and then they decided to go get J.K. Dobbins to add into that running back room. He was good for the Chargers last year. He was kind of a home run hitter. I mean, you'd think, oh, here you go. They're going to collapse on him, and boom, he take off 60 yards. So he was impressive. But I have questions about quarterbacks in their second year, and Bo Nix is going to have to answer those questions. They didn't really get much around him on the receiving group. So they did get him Evan Ingram, so that'll be a good marriage right there. But I just have question marks about their offense. Their defense is going to be spectacular. You already know Patrick Surtain is he's one of one. He truly is the best cornerback in the NFL.
You can follow Fernando on X at RealFRamirez and check out the Sporting Tribune as well, where he covers the Chargers overall. Fernando, great spot. As always, thanks for the time today. We appreciate that.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for having me on, and enjoy the beginning of football. Football in July. That's pretty interesting. But yeah, thank you so much for having me on, guys.
You bet. He was on the Progressive Guest line. I'm looking right now. Najee Harris, they just came out and said last night again, or earlier this morning, there's no timetable for his return.
You believe this?
No, it's...
You called it. You said be careful out there with the JPP.
Sure.
Oh, my God.
And that's why Hampton, I mean, he's like down, I think I saw below 10-1 to win Rookie of the Year now, which after...
He's lucky. You're talking about an eye.
An eye with fireworks. That was supposed to be like a really nice 1-2 combo this year behind that offensive line. You know how Harbaugh was going to use both those guys. And the steam on Hampton's nuts.
This is it. Last day to grab our football special, just $175 through the Super Bowl. Every pick, every host, every guest. Our college guide comes out Tuesday. Come on. The betting splits, the on-demand shows, the dog videos, the analytics, the tools, the Mackinnon betting systems. Sign up now, vsin.com/subscribe. $175 through the Super Bowl ends tonight.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
All right. Apologies. No good. They had the bases loaded in the second inning and couldn't get one off Littell. Escaped in and out of trouble. So over earned runs, no good. He only went 5 innings, I believe, and then shipped off today. Weird what the Rays did. So that was a loser, no good. All right, we hit Sam Bennett. We hit the Pacers to win the East. Let's try to get another one. Padres to win the World Series 25-1. They had a great day today. You get Miller, Jensen Lewis with their plans with him with the future, stretch him out. Makes more sense now. You give up the number 3 prospect overall in baseball. You grabbed O'Hearn. Good job by the Padres.
Miller might turn into Mizorowski.
Interesting.
Although Miller throws harder,
Yeah.
so he's going to dial it back a notch, but he could be out there and just, for 5 innings, here you go. Here's 102 miles an hour the entire time, striking out 11 guys, and they get him out of there. That would be something else.
Yeah. I'm trying to get the exacta. FanDuel has all the exactas up. What we're looking at today, because I also bet the Texas Rangers.
So like Padres over Rangers?
Padres to beat Seattle is 14-1. San Diego to beat Texas is 22-1.
No, that can't be right.
Yeah.
Those are way too short.
I know. Why is it that? Oh, no. Hold on. 200, it's my fault. You're correct. 220-1. 140-1.
You want me to give you a number for LASIK?
You know a guy? Take 2? Yeah, it's bad. Missing. It was missing a 0. Reds today. Reds tonight. Bet it yesterday. 20-cent move, then came down. Carrasco going, as Mitch talked about last time before the Derby. Abbott's been awesome. Reds at home. And because of the game Saturday, if you're up early tomorrow, remember they got the game in the Speedway Saturday, so they're playing at 9 o'clock Pacific tomorrow morning. But I think the Reds take them out. Abbott, you want to do some stuff with Abbott, go ahead. This is a dead Atlanta team. Good luck, everyone.
All right, I have the 4 teams that I bet yesterday for most wins in the month of August in Major League Baseball. Numbers have changed a little bit since because of the deadline, but I'm on the Brewers at 14, Padres 55, Reds 55, Orioles 125. The Padres number's down to 25-1 here at Circa. That makes sense after all the moves, obviously. And by the way, I was unaware of this. I brought up that the Hornets over 24.5 wins at even money in the NBA was at the Hard Rock in Florida. I did not know Hard Rock was in that many states. Way more states than I thought. So,
Is it?
Yeah, like 8, 10, something like that. And I don't have anything for tonight. Only 2 games in baseball.
Good luck. All right. $500 try from GBank First Bet and Visa. All you need to do is open the GBank Visa Signature Credit Card in the first 90 days. Deposit and play through $1,000 at First Bet. To trigger the $500 try, you get $200 in cash back rewards on your GBank Visa Signature Credit Card. And First Bet will give you a $100 deposit match. We complete it with a free 6-month VSiN Pro subscription. The $500 try from GBank First Bet and VSiN. One-time promotion limited to customers opening a new account. Response to this offer will not apply to requests to convert existing accounts. Apply today. Terms and conditions apply. It was 7-4 Yankees in the bottom of the 5th, and then the long rain delay, and that was the final score.
Well, that can happen for sure during these delays. It screws up everything.
This is great. Give me anyone. Give me something. Texas to beat Chicago, 170-1. Rangers to beat the Dodgers, 65-1. You got everything up here.
That's what I would do. I mean, that's I think maybe one betting thing. Like if you really like one of these teams after what they did today to make it to the World Series. Okay, you can bet it various ways to win their league, to win the World Series, but also you could tie in just exactas, or you could go, like if you love the Rangers, you could play Rangers over Dodgers, Rangers over Phillies, Rangers over Mets, Rangers over Brewers, Rangers over, like you could play like 5 different bets. You can lose them all, I get that, but if you're like supercharged about one of these teams, doesn't have to be the Rangers, could be any of them, that would be one approach. But it was, I think this is going to be the norm. Maybe not every single year, but I think like out of the next 10 years, the way that baseball is with a new format, we get 6 teams in from each league. I think we're going to have super active deadlines, Pauly, because so many teams tell themselves, we're right there. We have a chance. And based on recent history here, if you just squeak in as a wild card team, you can do damage and go on deep runs.
The Knicks gave Bridges a 4-year, $150 million extension.
That's funny money in the NBA.
That's right. There's some more news. And what do you have in the NFL?
Well, this is a couple of minutes ago. Adam Schefter, Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin requested a trade. He also quoted that by saying, there have been teams that contemplated making a move for McLaurin, but the Commanders have zero interest in moving on from him. So what is this going to be, a big rig showdown? Get out of my way?
Yeah.
Game of chicken?
Yeah.
Who's going to blink first? Is he going to go into the season? This happens like every year this time with a pretty good player.
Yep.
Screw you, I'm not coming in. Then they miss the entire camp.
You're right. Let me give you the full quote. Jaden Daniels noticed a big difference in his game from a year ago. Has noticed a big, most definitely night and day, he said. He's more used to Cliff Kingsbury's offense and his teammates. A year ago, he's learning the system and adapting to the NFL and not worrying about leadership. Now he'll get after his teammates, and he's processing the offense at a faster level. It's being more comfortable in the offense. I understand what Cliff is calling and what we want to accomplish. I have different tools in my tool belt to get to different protections, to get to different runs versus certain looks.
Well, hello, Deebo Samuel season coming.
Could be. That too.
If something happens here with McLaurin.
Yeah.
By the way, there is this on the same team. I'll point this out. Reports earlier this week. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt getting reps with Jaden Daniels in the firsts in the no-huddle session. People watching practice saying my biggest takeaways here is that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is going to be really good. He's quick, sharp, has the vision. This is from Ian Hartitz, Fantasy Life. Crazy story regarding this kid. He was ineligible to play for Arizona after just one game last year. Apparently, he redshirted at Alabama State, gave his number to someone else, but the NCAA registered that number to him and said he didn't redshirt. Like, how the hell does that happen? He's 700. So if this guy, what if he turns into the number one running back behind a very prolific offense? He's 700 to 1 offensive rookie of the year here at Circa, if you want to get nuts.
Okay.
It's not like that. I mean, he's not going to win that award, but it's, maybe for fantasy league, some guy to take as a flyer. There's also this. You had to love to see this earlier in the week. Cam Scatterbo getting first team reps
Your guy.
In camp. And then did you see this note that former Penn State tight end, now with the Colts, Tyler Warren, somebody pointed out that he's going to be very busy this year. He was getting handoffs at fullback.
Come on.
Goal line guy? Anytime touchdown?
Okay.
Last touchdown of the game?
All right. Not bad. Especially if it's Danny Dimes.
Push type of deal?
Yeah.
He could be their guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Kirby, over 17.5 outs, minus 215. 7-0 career against Texas, ERA under 2. He's up to $1.80. Abbott's 17.5. Very good. What did you get me into here with your recommendation? It's number one on Netflix, Hunting Wives. I finished the 3rd episode.
I got you into 8 episodes of steamy goodness.
Just crazy. The Ackerman gal, who was Axelrod's wife in Billions, I'm shocked when her clothes are on.
You're stunned.
I'm stunned she took the role. But this is something. Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? Y'all come back now, yeah? I mean, they get after it in Texas with the guns and everything, and
she gets after it in many ways.
Yes, she does.
Doesn't matter what the person is.
She, right, yeah. As the Native Americans say, a woman of easy virtue and an open relationship with the husband. I couldn't believe that, where she comes home and the husband's in the hot tub. Okay, you kids have some fun tonight.
Right.
Incredible.
Sure.
Right. And also, I came across this, and this isn't true. It's pretty. It's funny. It's short. It was a true story. It's called "Hey Pepsi, Where's My Jet?" It was when Pepsi was the Cola Wars, and they were cool. They had Shaq, they had Cindy Crawford. They were so creative. Michael Jackson in their ads and what they were doing. And they did one where they said, "Hey, if you get 7 million Pepsi points, you get a jet fighter. You can win it." And they didn't put a disclaimer on the screen.
Oh boy! And somebody did it.
Yes, and the kid figured it out, and it's wild.
Oh wow!
It's only 4 episodes. It's short. True story. It's interesting.
Shout out here
on Netflix.
Okay, very good. That's on the list. Shout out here to close the show. Here it is. Tim Murray. He's on vacation.
Yeah.
He's back east, live at the Crab House in Bethany Beach, Delaware. There's VSiN. There's a show on in the background. It's on all the TVs there. He said he's going to send me a picture of all the crabs he's about to devour. I don't know if I want to see him because I'm going to be so jealous.
Yeah.
Looks like a great spot. I guess Dewey Beach, very popular back there. That's where Stanford Steve likes to go.
Yeah. All right.
Fun time said by all.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Tim Murray, a member of VSiN Primetime, but not on it tonight. Coming up next for 4 hours. Good luck with the bets tonight. We'll see you.